Hey everyone, I'm Alex.
And I'm Kirsten. And tonight, Alex is going to tell us a story, and apparently it is really freaking creepy.
Creeps me out. I don't know if it's a ghost, a demon, or what this is, but it does escalate. It starts off a little slow, but it gets really creepy. So stick around and find out. All right, so this story's from a Reddit user, BungleBuns89, and I'll refer to him as B from now on. So in 2003, B is 13 years old, and their family moved into a house built in the 1950s in the suburbs outside of Baltimore, Maryland. It's a fixer-upper, and B's parents put a lot of money and effort into repairs, additions, landscaping, etc., and a big wraparound deck. According to their new neighbors, the house was previously occupied by an elderly couple. I don't know what happened to the wife, but they said the husband died in the house. B said the house gave off some creepy vibes when they moved in, especially the basement. It was unfinished with cement floors and walls, and those lights that are just a wire with a light bulb and socket hanging on them.
So typical horror movie.
Yeah. B and B's younger brother were drawn to the basement, but it also creeped them out. They thought it was cool. But they mostly avoided the basement because they didn't have any reason to go down there, but also because it was spooky. So B and his brother each got their own room on the second floor of the house, and one night after going to sleep, B says he started to wake up and was suddenly jarred awake when he felt the cold cement floor of the basement on his bare feet. He looks around and realizes he's in the basement, just standing there. Of course, he's freaked out, so he runs back upstairs to his bedroom and tries to forget it happened. He says he's never had issues sleepwalking before. Not as a child, not as an adult. As far as I know, this is the only instance that B has ever sleepwalked. So that was the first strange occurrence in the house.
Okay.
B says not long after that, he took up playing the drums and making music with various bands, and they would practice in the basement. So he eventually got used to it and didn't mind being down there so much. At first, things weren't too bad. The sleepwalking incident was strange, but it was a one-time occurrence. Then, some little things started happening. B had a DVD player that scrolled a welcome message across the front when it was turned on.
Mm-hmm.
One night, B's laying in bed and suddenly sees the message scrolling across the front of the DVD player. He says he didn't think too much of it, but he kind of did at the same time. It's strange, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he has some suspicions now. B notes another instance where their parents were gone from the house, so B and his brother were home alone. They were outside playing on the trampoline, but before they went out, B filled the coffee maker with water and went ahead and added the coffee grounds so they could make coffee when they came back in. He didn't turn the coffee maker on or even plug it in. He just added the water and coffee for later and went out to play. When they came back in, coffee was brewed.
So that's weird.
It's weird. Still nothing too bad, but at this point, enough things had happened to make them both believe that maybe something paranormal was going on. This is where things start to take a turn. B says they were young and stupid, and they tried to communicate with whatever they believed was in the house.
They got a Ouija board, didn't they?
I don't know. He doesn't say how they tried to communicate, just that they did try to.
Yeah.
But that's always a bad idea. So in 2007, B's parents hosted Thanksgiving for their entire family.
Okay.
Everyone's there, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, etc., from what I gather. And at this point, B has moved into the downstairs master bedroom. The house has 4 bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
It has a master downstairs, a master upstairs, and 2 smaller rooms upstairs.
Okay.
The 2 smaller rooms upstairs are where he and his brother used to stay.
Yeah.
And he's moved into the one downstairs.
Okay.
It also has a really big, long kitchen with a stone floor his parents had put in. It sounds like his bedroom was close to one end of the kitchen, and the door to the back porch is on the other end of the kitchen. He says this is a really long, really large kitchen.
Okay.
So at some point on Thanksgiving Day, B goes outside to get some more drinks from the back porch. And when he comes back inside, his aunt comments on how fast he was. When he asks her what she means, she says that she just saw him go into his room 5 seconds ago. But B hadn't been in his room.
So that's weird.
Yeah. She had seen someone or something that looked like B, but it wasn't. Now this still doesn't seem too awfully bad. It could be a trick of the light or her eyes. But not long after that, in 2008, things started to get more intense. So at this point, B's 18 and his brother is 14. So B's little brother has a friend that lives up the street, and he's getting ready to go to his friend's house to visit. Their parents aren't home, so little brother goes to B's room to tell him he's leaving for his friend's house and to ask B to let their parents know where he is when they get home.
Yeah.
It's around 7 or 8 o'clock at night in November, and it's completely dark outside. The door to B's room is cracked, and the light is off, so it's completely dark in the room as well. Little brother knocks on the door to let B know what he's doing, but he doesn't get a response. So little brother turns to walk away, and when he does, he hears the bedroom door shut and the lock click. He thinks B's playing a prank on him, just trying to scare him. So, frustrated, little brother turns back to the door and tries the doorknob. It's locked. He knocks again and, again, gets no answer. He yells at B to knock it off and tells him where he's going and asks him to tell their parents when they get home. He still gets no response. So when he turns to walk away again, he hears the lock click once more and the door opening just a crack. He's sure it's just B trying to scare him.
Yeah.
But it's working. He's scared.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, if you already think there's creepy stuff in your house.
Yeah, you already... But
Yeah.
So he's freaked out. Well, all right, so... Yeah, I think they don't really believe too much at this point.
Yeah.
They tried to communicate with it, but they B mentions later they still didn't super believe in things like psychics, mediums, things like that. So he's scared. He hurries out the door, ready to get the heck out of there.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets outside, he sees that B's car is gone, and he's terrified.
Yeah.
It turns out B was at a friend's house on the other side of town watching a football game. So little brother runs to his friend's house in a panic and calls the police. He's sure someone is in their house. When the doors open and closing and locking and your parents are gone and you find out your brother's not there, no one should be in the house. But someone obviously is. So at this point, B's on his way home. At the same time, the police are on their way there and actually sees the police cars pass him as they're hurrying to the house thinking there's a home invasion.
Yeah.
When he gets there, the police are already there going through the house. They check every entrance, every door and window, every closet, every room in the house, the entire house and property, and they find nothing.
Yeah.
No one's there. There's no sign of forced entry, no indication that anyone else had been in the house, and nobody can explain what happened.
I do wonder how many times that police get calls for paranormal things, and they're just like, there's nothing here, and everyone's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I know, right? B says that as they grew up in the house, things started to get worse. B had a girlfriend, and she eventually moved in with him too, but there was a lot of anger and fighting. Things were tense with everyone. Everyone could feel the negative energy in the house. He says it got to the point where the house felt alive and you could feel a horrible energy.
Yeah.
He says sometimes after being out, he and his girlfriend would just sit in the car in the driveway, sometimes for hours, just dreading going inside. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
In 2011, B's little brother joined the Marines and went to Afghanistan. The rest of the family abandoned the house and defaulted on the loan with the bank.
Okay.
It's not clear if they left because they defaulted on the loan or if things just got so bad they didn't care anymore, so they abandoned the house.
Yeah.
The house was financed with Bank of America, and they had a huge backlog of foreclosures at the time, and so they didn't do anything with the house for almost 5 years.
Yeah.
The bank didn't touch the house. So during this time, B starts to convert and use the house for a training studio and a recording studio to make music.
So we've already defaulted on the loan, but we're still in the house?
Yeah. The bank's not doing anything, so they're not there to kick him out, so he's staying.
Okay.
They didn't bother with this house for 5 years. They were so busy with other things.
Yeah.
So it's set for 5 years, but during this time, he kept using the house.
Okay.
His family had left. He's the only one there now. But I don't know if he's living there 100%.
Yeah.
But he is using the basement as like a studio. He made it into a studio to record and stuff. So one day, B's at the house doing a photo shoot in the basement for a record he made. And he says it was him and at least a dozen other people just hanging out, taking pictures, and having a good time.
Yeah.
Suddenly, they hear what B describes as the sound of heavy, lumbering footsteps coming from the floor above them in the kitchen. Everyone falls silent, looking at each other to confirm they all heard the same sound.
Yeah.
They're sure someone's in the house, so they rush upstairs and find nobody there. At this point, everyone's freaked out. They say their goodbyes, and they leave B alone in the house. Now is where it gets really creepy. Things start to get bad.
Yeah.
So now it's 2014. The house is still in foreclosure, but the family moves back in.
Okay.
B is under the impression that they've resumed making the payments on the house.
Okay.
I don't know if they were or not, but his parents moved back in. There was still some fighting, but B said it was nice to have everyone together again. B's brother returns from Afghanistan, and he moves in as well.
Oh, good.
And he seems to be a target.
Yeah.
So little brother has a girlfriend who stays with him sometimes, and sometimes they would wake up and he would be choking his girlfriend. He would also wake up every night at the exact same time and be ravenously hungry. It says sometimes he would just sit up in his bed with a look on his face that their mother described as pure evil. A few times he woke up bleeding, but they couldn't find any cuts on his body anywhere. No discernible place the blood should be coming from. Okay. But the pillows and sheets would be stained with blood.
Okay. Is he sleepwalking and going to murder people?
I don't know, actually. That they never figured this out.
Yeah.
This just happened a few times.
Okay.
But the whole time he's there, it's just bad for him.
Yeah.
All these things are going on. Now, B's brother never really believed in psychics, but the experiences they had in the house as kids and what they were going through now convinced him to go see a medium. I mean, some of this seems like maybe it could be like some PTSD.
Yeah.
But like not the blood.
Well, there is a theory that people who have PTSD are more likely to like either have experiences like this.
Right. And I guess we don't know if they're more likely to have these experiences or if they're more likely to feel like they're having these experiences.
Exactly, yeah.
The medium told him that he had most likely brought an entity back from the Middle East. Not a ghost, not a demon, just an entity.
Okay.
That's what the medium said. The medium said it had a feminine energy, but it wasn't female, and that it was very possessive and obsessed with him and latched onto him because of his negative energy. It fed on his negative energy, is what the medium told him.
Okay.
B says right here that his brother had become a heavy drinker and had always had a bad temper. In 2015, the rest of the family moved out of the house for the final time, leaving B alone once more. B had a girlfriend at the time, but she wasn't living there, and she doesn't like being in the house anyway.
Yeah.
She got a bad vibe. B says she was sensitive to things like this anyway.
Yeah.
So on B's birthday that year, after his family had moved out, he was in the kitchen washing dishes after eating his dinner. He was alone in the house, and as he stood at the sink, he heard the sound of footsteps coming up quickly behind him. He says he knows that sound well because his mother used to pace in the kitchen when she was angry about something.
Okay.
He says the thumping of the footsteps was loud, and things on the shelves would rattle when people moved through the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what was happening now, and he was sure someone had broken into the house, and so turned around quickly with whatever piece of dishware he had in his hand at the time, ready to fight off an attacker. But no one was there. He dropped everything, left the house immediately.
Yeah, would've.
B still had 2 cats in the house, and he cared about them.
Yeah.
So he needed to go back for them. He's in his car, he's circling the neighborhood, but every time he gets close to the house, he feels sick. He says it feels evil and malicious. So he calls his girlfriend to talk to her, and he says she's really into psychics and astrology and things like that, and that she's sensitive to paranormal phenomena anyway.
Yeah.
She's trying to get a feel for what's going on, I guess somehow from wherever she's at.
Yeah.
She's trying to get a feel for what's going on while B's driving around, and B starts feeling worse. His girlfriend has gone quiet, and he says, "It's in the car with me, isn't it?"
Yeah.
She says, "Yeah, but it's also back at the house waiting for you. It can be at multiple places at once, and it knows that you know it's there, and it's waiting for you."
Yeah.
This is a terrifying experience for B, of course.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So she tells him not to go back to the house, or if he has to, then just get the cats and get out.
Yeah.
But B had nowhere to go at the time. He couldn't go stay with his family, and he couldn't just get another place.
Yeah.
So his only option was to stand his ground.
Yeah.
His girlfriend told him some words to say, I don't know what they are, and told him to sleep with the lights on, keep his guard up, and be strong. In the meantime, she would contact a friend of hers who was a medium. Needless to say, B had a very long, sleepless night.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah. When something like that happens, it's awful. And you're in the house all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to stay there all alone. At least he's got the cats.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, I'm thinking about our cat, and it can make it worse because you don't know what that sound is, and it's probably just your cat messing with something.
Right. Oh, yeah. Nope, my cats, you're stuck in here with me. You're not leaving the bedroom. I'm not coming to find you if something happens.
Exactly, yeah.
So the girlfriend's medium friend had met B before, but only briefly, one time, and had never been to the house or been told anything about it. So the next evening, his girlfriend came over to tell him what the medium had told her over the phone. B was a bit skeptical, but the medium had known so much that nobody had told her. She knew about the fighting in the house and all the negative energy. She knew how the house was kind of laid out, including the master bedroom on the first floor that was B's room.
Yeah.
Even some of the private things that he kept in his room that no one should know about. Now, this is possible, of course, that, B's girlfriend had told her some things, I guess. But according to B, no one told the medium anything. She just knew about it. So she said the entity had detached from his brother when he moved out and had stayed behind because of all the negative energy in the house.
Mm-hmm.
It was looking for a new host to attach to. It was looking for B. She said the master bedroom that B stayed in had an extreme amount of negative energy, and that's where it stayed. It stayed in that bedroom. That's what she told the girlfriend over the phone, like it's in that bedroom. Just like the girlfriend had already seemed to know.
Yeah. I wonder, when he moved down into that bedroom, is it because his parents moved into the upstairs one?
I don't know. I don't know if the parents were already upstairs and that bedroom wasn't being used, and maybe he got older and was like, hey, I want this bigger room. It's got a bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Like
or maybe they were like, let's move upstairs.
You know what, though? Yeah, I didn't think about that. If they were already downstairs, I mean, they may not have really believed, but it was still creeping them out.
Yeah.
So maybe they moved into the one upstairs and to get out of that room and let B have it. But B mentions here that anytime his girlfriend stayed over, she, like when they stayed at his house in that bedroom, she always had a headache.
Yeah.
The medium said that there had been a lot of fighting and turmoil in that room specifically, and that was partly why it had such bad energy. So, I don't know. It could be maybe the couple that lived there before, the elderly couple.
Yeah.
He did say before that the neighbor said the old man was very jovial.
Yeah.
And the wife was not.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing maybe she was a little, I don't know, mean, angry.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so B's girlfriend brought over some sage. They cleansed the inside and outside of the house and said some particular prayers that they had learned. And B says it worked. Oh. He lived in the house for another 18 months after that with no more occurrences. And after that, he moved out to another state, and the bank finally took back the property. And that's it. I don't know if the bank sold the house. I don't know what happened to it after that. I'm sure there's probably a lot more things that happened. That was over several years.
Yeah.
That was like 12 years of living there. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a like. Leave us a comment. Let us know if there's anything you'd like us to talk about, or if you have a story yourself you'd like us to tell. We'd love to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe.
Like, follow, share, do all those things. 5-star reviews on Spotify.
All right, thanks for watching, everyone. This is the part where Kirsten says bye.
Okay, bye.